Hello folks, how's it going? And welcome back to another Trepidation video, where today we are going to be talking all about the 5th anniversary update that dropped this week. More specifically, we are going to be talking about the 3 new codes that were revealed via the stream. I'm going to summarize the new slasher for you. We'll have a quick wander around in the new and reworked Arctic map, and then jump straight into the new survivors as well as the new cosmetics that will be dropping hopefully later this week. A lot of new content was added to the game, so without much further ado, let's dive into said new content one by one. Starting off with the 3 new codes that were revealed via V's Trepidation Tuesday stream. If you don't know who V is, they are a fellow good friend and Trepidation YouTuber of mine. And in their Trepidation Tuesday stream, they revealed they had 3 exclusive codes they got from Uzi to reveal into, well, their stream. But if you missed out on this stream, here are the codes as follows. The first code is Trappy Anniversary 2026. You can have a look at the codes in the text bar right here. And this code should give you 1 legendary slasher crate. Just like so. What do we get? Very nice. I already had this one. Next up, we have 9 plus 10. And this is the biggest code of them all. Here you have the code right here. And what this code should give you is 210 coins. I see what you did there, Uzi. 10 free slasher crates with an additional bonus crate. And you also get 10 free weapon crates with an additional bonus crate for that as well. Now, if you go on ahead and claim the code, you will see the currency, in my case, pop into my balance right there. But you're probably wondering, well, Timmy, where are the new free crates? Nothing happened. Because if you go ahead and head over to this tab, you'll notice that there is this new button on the slasher crates image called Open 10 plus 1. This is how you claim your free crates. And if you go ahead and scroll down, you'll see that for weapon crates, you see this exact same button. This is also how you get your free weapon crates, just to avoid some confusion there. Now, the last code that we got to see was Deadliest Dealer. Deadliest Dealer, like so. And if we go on ahead and claim this code, you'll see that we get 10 epic weapon crates with an additional bonus crate. Again, if you didn't catch any of the 3 new codes, I will list them on the screen right now, so take a note of them and go ahead and claim them for yourselves. I hope you get something good out of it. I hope you do. Now, moving on to the brand new slasher that was released with this anniversary update. To all of our surprises, it was a community concept made by Poof the Puff in the Discord server, and this slasher goes by the name Magician. Magician right here is a very hard difficulty technical slasher whose gimmick is to, well, gamble. Throughout the match, survivors are playing a card game against the magician called Blackjack, and all players pull cards to try to get as close to the number 21 as possible without going over that number. Everyone gets a new card every 90 seconds, but survivors can also flip magic hats in the map to get a card too. And both survivors and the magician have the option to double tap the crouch or aim key bind to close their hand of cards and lock in the score that they have. Otherwise, they may have the potential to overdraw going over that number 21. And that isn't very good, I can tell you that much. At any point in the match, the magician can decide to compare everyone's closed hands to hers. And all affected survivors will win and lose depending on if they score better or worse than the magician. Winning as a survivor will grant buffs, losing will take away some health and give debuffs, and survivors get nothing when they draw. The magician instead gains a total amount of buffs and debuffs, depending on the amount of closed hands she won against, drew with, or lost to. And having a perfect score called a perfect hand doubles both effects. If a survivor has a closed hand going over 21, they lose by default if the magician hasn't done the same thing. Otherwise, scoring a lower number than the magician still gives the survivor the opportunity to win. And that is just the passive, alright? The passive is a massive thing on its own. Other than that, magician also has the ability to manipulate her own cards or a survivor's cards. She can also make survivors vanish by teleporting them to a random place in the map, or she can decide to teleport herself to one of her magic hats instead. And the magician can draw one of her tarot cards to alter the match. And whether she is lucky for the match to go in her favor is up to fate, but mostly her luck, of course, as everything is up to chance when magician's out to play. So in summary, gambler. Now this is just a summary of the magician, so you should be good to go for now, but later down the line I hope to make a magician guide video to go in full detail about how she works and how you can play as her. Now next up is the Reworked Arctic map, alright? And for that, I need to bring in an alt account of mine to pull the map. There we go. Say hello to Jamie, everyone. Say hello to my accomplice for today. And here you have it, folks. Arctic is officially back. We can finally select Arctic again in the map selection. It feels good to be able to do that again. I'll be playing as the slasher so that you can clearly see what is going on in the map. But just to keep in mind, the same snow effect as a survivor is still there. It still snows in Arctic. And here we... Oh, wait, here it is, actually. You can see right here, the outside already has significantly changed. There's a lot more barriers up now with tiles in them, of course. This is the entrance to the cave right here. It is now behind the truck, like a passageway that goes all the way down. You can see the cave right here. Now the egg's right there. The egg is still around. Lovely jubbly. The cave itself hasn't changed much, I think, when it comes to size. There's just a bunch of more randomized tiles now, and it looks a little bit better, definitely. Here we have the prison cells with the, I think the wedge here now gone, but it is still relatively the same otherwise. There is still the wedge here, which takes you to the staircase that goes up. If we go on ahead and take this familiar hallway here, you can see that the exit switch is no longer here. It has been moved, but this room pretty much has turned into a huge randomized tile instead. And taking this door right here, it'll take you back to this familiar cave entrance that is still here as well. I feel as though this cave has been extended in this direction ever so slightly. Yeah, this drop down also feels a lot more closer. Here is the broken down house that you can still find outside all the way in the back. Moving back over here and actually going up these stairs. Or should we go to the core room first? No, you cannot go to the core room over here anymore. That's right. They took out the doors over there that lead to the core room. Instead, what you need to do now is either go through that wedge, or you can still go up the staircase right here to get to the centerpiece of Arctic, pretty much. And the lever is right here now, actually. So now you need to be in the very center of the building to get to the lever. This tunnel right here, still familiar, it's still here, but this door still takes you to the revamped core room. The only difference now is that you can't go around the core anymore. You are getting blocked by a railing right here. The stairs will still take you to a second floor of this room, but again, you cannot go around. And going up even further will now take you to the revamped final floor of the Arctic building right here. With, again, more barriers, crates, shelves. There's a tile in the middle of the room now. And this will also take you still to the very exit, which is this helicopter pad still. But the difference now is, instead of there being a ladder, there is now a staircase right here that'll take you straight up to the roof. And this again will also take you outside like so. Now this door right here at the very right of the building still exists, and it will take you to this familiar hallway. Now going into this room will lead you to a small tile with a pallet instead now of a vault. Going into this back room here will still take you to the large room with a lot of tables in the middle. It's just that there is a lot more pallets to be seen right there, which is pretty neat. Moving on to the room in the back over here. It's also still the same, except there is now one table on this side. And on this side, you have two tables with a pallet now. And going straight through this door will take you to the... Well, will take you to this upper floor of this middle room right here. You can still go down here like so to get over there, but there is now a balcony sticking out right there, and this is a new vault that you can use like so. There is an easier way to get up to the balcony over here rather than the middle staircase right here, which is still around. It still takes you down to this wedge, to this room right here, except there's now just an additional staircase to get up here easier. And this is the drop down. A new drop down right here. I guess I could show you the collapsed building all the way in the back still. You also notice that the outside is, I think, smaller than before. The edges of the outside area are now shown off with these fences. But here it is, the collapsed building that you can still drop down into, but the generator behind it is also still here. And would you look at that? There's a pallet right here now. I actually did not know that yet. I like that the map is still large despite the outside being shrunk. I also really appreciate that the cave entrance behind the truck right here is now like a proper tunnel into the cave. And the same thing goes for getting up to the roof of the building, if I can actually find it. Here it is, where it is now a staircase instead of a ladder. That used to be so annoying to deal with, I'm telling you. The core room used to be really annoying to deal with, so the fact that you can no longer loop around the core is also pretty nice. And that will now officially conclude the Arctic tour. Folks, disastrous news has struck the wonderful world of Trepidation. The 2 new survivors and the new cosmetics are delayed. Yeah, this news isn't really that bad actually, but Uzi has fallen ill and has announced that he has been extremely sick for the past few days, so he wants to fully recover first before continuing development. I figured I would still include these 2 new survivors and cosmetic bits anyway, because this is content that will still be on the way. But until Uzi is back, we will unfortunately have to wait. And with that, that concludes the update overview for the anniversary update. If you've enjoyed this video or have found it useful, then make sure to let me know by hitting that like button down below. And if you're new around these parts and want to see more Trepidation content from me in the future, then make sure to consider subscribing whilst you're at it. For my next few videos, I hope to make a guide on the Magician as well as the 2 new survivors if they are out by then. Thank you so much for watching this video, folks, and I will see you all in my next one. Take care, alright?